What's up, everyone? I am Jared and I am from TechWorks, and today we are gonna talk and I'm gonna show you the best way to put on your new dbrand skin. So anyone who's watched videos, dbrand sponsors a lot of stuff. I'm gonna say right now, I am not being sponsored by dbrand. I just use these for my personal products, and I felt like sharing some insight on how I put them on would benefit everybody. So just to go over it, dbrand does make some of the nicest skins, and there's reasons why I say nicest, because there's tons of manufacturers out there like Slick Wraps, and they make different heroes on their wraps and skins and things like that. The reason I say dbrand is the best is they have all these different textures, and they always do something unique. So this one right here is the new black camo. It's like a digital camo sort of vibe. It's textured. Oh shit. It is textured and a matte finish to help with nicks and scratches on your device. So I'm not one who's super big on, I like feeling the actual feel of my device, not being super chunky with cases, but I use a case so that my device doesn't get scratched and dirty. As well as, if I do resell it, it'll be in good condition. So the things that you are going to need to do this, obviously, you're going to need your device. Today we're going to be putting it on an iPhone 7. You are going to need your dbrand skin, like so. And last but not least, I have over here a heat gun. So you can do this with a hairdryer, or you can do it with a heat gun. The one thing to keep in mind with using a heat gun like this is when you turn it on, and if it's on high, this can actually burn you. It can get so hot that it'll melt this vinyl and it become really hot to the touch, and you could get burns. So please take note of that if you do decide to use a heat gun. The reason I use a heat gun and not a hairdryer, my cat's scared of it, is it makes the vinyl a little more pliable so that I can really get the corners nice and flush with one another and to really, really finish it off nice. So anyway, I'm gonna flip the camera around. I'm gonna show you, oh, heat gun's gonna fall over. I'm going to show you how to do it, and I'm going to show you the best way, and we should be there pretty quick. All right, so here we got our device. So this is the jet black iPhone 7. I've had mine for a little while, and if you actually can see whether it focuses or not, there is a whole bunch of little micro scratches, which is super common with the jet black finish. So I've taken good care of it. I've had it in a case, that case right over there, and just for whatever reason, it's got all scratched up. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm taking a microfiber cloth and I'm wiping down the back. Get your fingerprints off, get some of the oils off, just make it all around looking good before we do this. In your dbrand package, you're going to have a couple of skins. They actually give you 2. So when I open this up, you get similar ones, but the difference is around the camera. And again, I'm just going to reiterate the fact I am not sponsored by dbrand. Hashtag not sponsored. So you have 2 different layouts right here. This one and this one. So if you put this one on your phone, it'll leave that whole camera housing open and it won't be affected by the skin. Right? You have your Apple logo, your cutout, all your different ports, side buttons, and your edges that you're going to heat gun and move over the edge. I'm actually going to show you with this one. And I don't know if you'll see it on camera. You can. There's little slits, which I'm going to heat up, and I'm going to press around the camera because that is going to make for the nicest installation total. All right? So let's get to it. Let me just wipe off around the camera again real quick. Okay. So I'm also going to leave a link to how dbrand does it in the description because they also have a very good video on how to do this. But if you'd rather watch me and not them, more power to you. All right, so here is our device. All cleaned up and ready. So what dbrand says for you to do is to peel off the top and get a little bit of the skin on your device. So this isn't like a screen protector. You can kind of move this around a little bit. It's not like you only have one chance to do it. What I normally do, my biggest fear is the camera and the Apple logo. So I want to have my Apple logo nice and centered. I want my camera lenses and all that to also be nice and centered. So one of the things with this jet black version, being that the Apple logo is kind of also black, you're not really going to notice when it's lined up just perfectly. Now you can see already at the bottom here that that doesn't line up right with my bottom. So that means I got to adjust this just a little bit this way to the right. And I'm going to kind of pivot it on the camera axis right there. So I'm going to check it again, pick it up, take a look at the bottom. No, still super, super off. So again, this is just kind of a little bit of trial and error here until you get it exactly where you want it. All right. So as you can see, look at the bottom here. Hold on, I gotta get this little piece of paper off. Oh, if that's not gonna stick too good. See this little piece of paper right there? I gotta get that guy off. And the one thing I will say about these skins is they do come off very nice and clean. So as you can see right there, there's my port. And if I fold over this flap, we are in perfect alignment, all right? So that's the thing. I'm kind of OCD about this stuff. I want it to look as if it was made to fit there, right? So all you do is you kind of roll your finger over, and if you look real nice, all the holes line up, charging port lines up great. So from there, I'm going to roll the sides up. And again, I kind of roll from the back, roll to the top, roll from the back, roll to the top. Hindsight, probably should have turned the phone off, but not a huge deal. Again, you want to make sure on the sides, all your buttons line up, volume switch lines up. We're going to do it on the other side. Again, from the back to forward, back to forward. Again, you want to make sure your SIM tray lines up. And you also want to make sure that power button lines up. So now what you're starting to get left with is you're going to have the top, which I'm going to do right now, and then these flaps on the corners. And the top's very easy because there's not much to it. You just fold it up and you're good to go. So from here, this is what you got. You got your phone pretty much all covered, corners are open, and you got a little ripple around your camera, and we're going to fix that right now. So this is where the heat gun or hair dryer comes in. Again, you want to be very careful if you're using a heat gun. If you're using a hair dryer, this will be much easier. So we're just going to take the phone and we're going to heat it up. Moving it back and forth. All right. Stand this up like so. And now with this camera, you are going to just work it with your fingers around that camera lens. And you will actually see it kind of start to form right around it. I'm kind of going to move my fingers in a circle, move it around. And look at that. So this gives you a little more protection around the edge of your camera so you don't get scratches. So on the iPhone 8 and on the iPhone 10, it looks a little bit different because you have such a big hump on it, or such a big ledge. So I'm actually going to heat this up one more time around that camera, make sure it's nice and flat, and then I'm going to get this corner at the same time. So I'm just going to heat it up. You don't need much with a heat gun. And you can almost see this edge get a little like flimsy. And then your edge you're just going to roll up until it meets the other part of the vinyl, and you're just going to wipe it right on in there. Now, there is going to be a slight amount of overlap that happens on the little edge on your corner, which is right up there. But as you can see, so far, this is coming out very clean. And the whole idea is I want it to look like there's nothing showing. I want to look like this is this is part of the phone, that this is the phone. Apple made it this way. And again, this allows me to have my phone a little bit protected. Obviously not so much drop protection, but a little bit of protection from scratches, my pocket, things of that nature, without being too bulky. So now I'm going to repeat this on the next 3 and 4 corners. Again, take your heat gun. Heat it up. Turn it off. I make sure I stay my heat gun up because if not, I can burn my table. So again, I'm going to take the edge, I'm going to roll it up with my thumb, push from the corner in and up, and try to make that vinyl meet in the corner. Right? Again, I want it to be like this corner piece is just one piece entirely. So this has a little itty bitty gap, and that's okay, because I'd rather have it be that than have it overlap and bubble and ripple. So we're gonna allow that. So we're gonna go to the bottom. We're gonna do it again. Take it with your thumb, roll it up, beat the corner, wipe the edges. All right, and last but not least, we're gonna hit up this corner. Just like so. Again, take your thumb, roll it up to there. Make sure that everything is nice and flat, nice and flush, so that everything goes on perfect. So at this point, everything should be glued down pretty well. You're moving your corners in, you're rubbing them, smoothing it out. So from here, this is where I look to see if anything needs to get heated up one last time before everything's not too permanent. Shouldn't say permanent, before it's really too stuck. So if you look, the corners look pretty good. This one, if it'll focus up on it, I'm gonna heat up again. And the camera lens, I'm going to heat up again. The bottom looks fine. So, do the camera first. Apply some nice direct heat. Get it on there. Wrap all the way around the camera lens. Again, I'm just going to take my fingertips, not my nails. Get right around that lens. Perfect. So now, last but not least, I'm going to touch up this top corner. So there's just a little bit of shiny left. I want to see if I can move it up. All right, so just letting you know, like, that was actually burning my finger for how hot it was holding it like that. And in this stage of the game, I am literally just going to take my thumb and push that vinyl closer together. As close as I can get it, that's going to be where I call it. I say that is done. So, this stage of the game, you're pretty much home free. There's your freshly skinned device. So now what I like to do, I'll take some heat, hit the corner, hit all the sides. Side here, hit the top, hit this side, hit the bottom. And I take that microfiber cloth we were using earlier, and I'm just going to run it across the edges. What this does is helps it set those corners so that when you're sliding it in and out of your pocket, it's not going to catch lint. It's not going to start peeling at your corners, because that's going to be the first spot where it starts peeling. There's your corners, your bottom, the stuff that's going to catch an edge, right? So we're going to do that. We're going to rub it a few times. And obviously, this will get smoother as you continually use it. You know, the edges will get down. Generally doesn't collect that much lint. And there you have it. So like I said, these skins go on really nice. They go on really smooth and really pretty easy. Like I said, I use these on my own devices. As you can see, I used one right here. Because it does look nice. It gives it a very unique feel. I'm going to take the zoom out and look at that. perfect, like it was meant to be. So you don't have button covers. On the iPhone 10, I actually have a little vinyl that goes over the glass and the lens so that it doesn't get all scratched up. But there you have it. So you got a little bit more protection than stock. A little bit than just having the straight metal out there or straight glass. So it'll protect you from scratches. It'll keep that jet black looking nice. And really, when you peel them off, I haven't had a problem where it gets too much residue on it or anything like that. So there you go. And of course, the nice thing about it is if you want to touch up the edges, you can reapply heat to it, mold them in, and you're good to go. Again, if you mess up on one of them, you do get two. This one is a little different. Like I was mentioning, your whole camera ring would be out, so you could get scratches up around the edge. But, you know, most people aren't going to notice that. And now you have a beautifully skinned phone. Again, dbrand does a really good job in their videos showing this also, but I wanted to give you my little hints, tips, and tricks on doing it to make it JD TechWorks approved. But anyway, there you have it. This was the quick and easy way to put on your dbrand skin. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below, and I'll gladly get back to you. And we'll see you in the next video.